Hi everyone, it's Margaret here with 60andMe. Thank you so much for being here today. It's so lovely to know that you're out there all around the world. We have women in 150 countries in our 60andMe community, and I just feel so blessed to have you in my life. And thank you so much always for your support. If you are here for the first time, 60andMe is a community of women who are over 60 and decided to kind of live this time of their life with purpose and passion. And we do videos on all kinds of topics related to aging, and that includes things like retirement and finances and travel and beauty, fashion, lifestyle, mindset, health and well-being. So it's everything that will be involved in your life as you get into your 60s and 70s. And one thing that I wanted to talk about today was pain, because we have certainly probably experienced a little of that in our lives. And right now the sun is shining so brightly on me. It's a beautiful day out there, but I'm just going to go for it. I hope it's not too glaring. But most women in our community have had incidents in their life that have broken their heart. Things that have really truly devastated them. It could be a divorce, a betrayal, a lie, a death, some kind of disappointment or health concern. There's so many things that have probably, been woven into our lives. A lot of women in our community are dealing with estrangement and having, children and grandchildren that they don't speak to or that they have lost connection with. So life after 60 is tough. And I think that we all, the reason that there's so many women, I think, in our community is that one of the greatest gifts is that to know that we're not alone, to know that we are all in this together, and that the challenges of health and, mindset and, giving up work and financial issues and emotional issues are just part of being 60. So we learn to grow, we learn to move on. Sometimes the pain takes a very short period of time. We get over it, we move on. Sometimes the pain stays with us, and it stays with us for years, for decades. And I sometimes, you read the news and you think about this situation happening or that, and you think, how on earth is that person ever going to get through that pain? And, others cry, you cry for years. I know I cried for 4 years when I got divorced. I don't know. I look back on it now, I half smile and I laugh and say, I have no idea why I did that, because, it all worked out. But at the time I was just devastated and I cried, genuinely. And the pain was intense and it permeated my whole body, my whole life. It affected everything. And maybe you're nodding your head, say, yeah, same. Same happened to me. But some people dwell on their failures and stay with those regrets. Others just bounce right back and they're cool. Pema Chodron is a Buddhist nun. I have known about Pema Chodron for years because I practice Buddhism and I meditate following some of the guidance of that tradition. And she's been a guiding light to me. She's written many, many books. And this isn't a spiritual, promotion or conversation. She's just a real person who she was a mother, or is a mother. She went to become a Buddhist nun later in her life. And she's just got such a perspective on the real world. And so she did a quote, which is a very powerful one that I wanted to share, which is kind of the reason I sat down to do this video, is nothing ever goes away until it teaches us the lesson we need to know, or the thing that we need to know. I just find that such a powerful statement, because when something sad or traumatic happens to us, the first thing that we do is go, why? Why did that happen? Why did that happen to me? Why did my husband decide to leave me? Why did, my children stop connecting with me? Why? What did I do? And you always do that. You do that kind of, what did I do? As if it was all something you had control over. Why did that person abandon me? Why did I lose that job? Why was I downsized? Why did I get COVID? Why? You can go on and on and on about the things that happen to us that are difficult, and then we just deal with it with a why. But what Pema Chodron is saying, which I think is very powerful, is that, we don't ever let that go, whatever that sadness is, until we learn the lesson that it was there to teach us. The why me turns, into a why, but she says we choose. And I think that there's something really powerful about this, and I don't know whether, I'm sorry if the sun is a little bit glaring. I really can't do anything with the light here right now. I'm going to just maybe there. But she says, hurt can stay with us, pain can stay with us because we choose it, because we nurture it. We allow it space in our life. And now, okay, this is what that statement is probably like, yes, Margaret, but you don't understand. This is really hard, or this happened, and I get it. I totally do get it. But the sooner that we can find meaning, and the faster we can get back to the present, and we know the point of the lesson, then we will be able to move forward. Now, there are some things, of course, that are so random, that are so that happen to us in our lives, that were so sad or so unexpected or so incredibly devastating, that there is no meaning for it sometimes. But the response, can be. And I'm not trying to say that we should minimize, terrible things that have happened to us and just let them go. I mean, just be in the now and, just somehow blissful ignorance of it. It's not. It's how to, take that why that is circling around us and in a way detach it from us. It's not our fault. Oh yes, I should have been there for that person, or if only I had done that, they wouldn't have been in that situation when they had that accident, or if only I had done this and this and this. You always seem to pull it into yourself, and sometimes there are just things in this life that are just incredibly difficult and horrible and unexplainable. But the bigger issues of, why did that divorce happen, or the smaller issues, I should say, of those things like, why did they get divorced? Why did I lose the job? Why did I not, name the why? Those are things that we have control over. I just think it's a really, really powerful quote. I mean, have you read any other quotes that have had this impact on you? I mean, for me to say that as long as we hold on to a pain, it's going to haunt us. It has a purpose sometimes. Now, if I think about, I probably shouldn't talk too personally about my own divorce, but if you think about a divorce or a separation or a loss of a partner, you think about it in terms of what you could have done differently. But you were both on the journey together. You were both contributors, and sometimes it's the other person who is more, dynamic in the bringing on of the change than you are. But maybe it was you. Maybe you made the change. And I think when you look at a thing and just go deep inside it, like, what did I learn from that? Sometimes it's really hard to find a lesson in painful situations. But I think that, if you can do it, I think it's important. Like estrangement, for example. If you're estranged from a child, or your children aren't talking to you and won't let you see your grandchildren, what is the lesson there? Now, there are some fundamental spiritual truths here, I mean, particularly related to Buddhism, which is, the fact that, we suffer in life because we are attached to the things that by their very nature have to change. And I'm sure that, and I know I've studied religious studies. I have a degree in comparative religion, so it's something that I've always been interested in. And that theme really does permeate most, as far as I can see it, most religious traditions, in the sense that somehow the things that we treasure and that we value, we don't own them. Even children. I remember reading a quote the other day. It was something about children don't come from us; they come through us. And that we are basically planting seeds for the future. These kinds of thoughts, I think, are very powerful, and they're also very helpful. So I think Pema Chodron's quote can help us. I think if you can say to yourself, okay, there's something going on in my life that is giving me pain, rather than ask why and beat myself up as to me somehow being responsible for it all, what can I do to put it in a place where I see the whole picture and I learn from it? It's funny, I did another video recently about this whole idea of how time and having lived 6 decades actually gives us resilience and perspective and strength. But sometimes we get held up on things that are painful, and I totally, totally get it. So I would love you to, just have a chat about it. I mean, do you agree that it's sometimes very hard to move on from something that's painful until we stop and understand it and understand the why? Not from a self-blaming perspective, but from a learning perspective, from a teaching perspective. I hope this hasn't felt too superficial. I know some of these things that I'm talking about are getting really, really deep, and they're things that I have no knowledge of, and I don't know you personally, but whatever it is, if you can try to let it go and learn a lesson from it, hopefully that will help. Okay, everybody, this has been a really powerful video for me, but I do hope that you're well and that you see value in this. We love you so much. I love you so much. I'm so happy that you're here joining me on this challenging journey of being a 60-year-old woman. But know that you're loved and respected, and I look forward to speaking with you again. Leave your comments below about how you feel about pain in your life, how you felt it might have taught you a lesson, and what you've learned from your past. Take good care, everybody. Lots and lots of love.